The top 10 largest empires in history. Throughout the history of mankind, we have witnessed the rise and fall of numerous empires and kingdoms. By definition, an empire is a large group of nations or people ruled by a political body or a single person, such as an emperor or empress. Empires typically spanned across an extensive area of land, even across different continents, covering a significant amount of the world's population at the time. These empires represent the height of civilizations, and influence the development of cultures, technology, philosophy and economics throughout the course of history, and their achievements should be recognized and celebrated. Here, we list the top 10 largest empires based on landmass and provide a summary of the achievements of each empire. Number 10. The Xiongnu Empire. You may not have heard of the Xiongnu Empire before, but the Xiongnu Empire was one of the largest empires in history. The Xiongnu were a tribal confederation of nomadic peoples who inhabited the eastern Eurasian steppe from the 3rd century BC to the late 1st century AD. This area would later become the domain of the Mongols. The Xiongnu Empire was founded in the 3rd century BC by Modu Chanyu, the supreme tribal leader at the time. At its height in the late 2nd century BC, the Xiongnu Empire stretched from the Manchurian region of present-day China to the eastern limit of Central Asia and centered on the Mongolian plateau. The Xiongnu Empire occupied an area of 9 million square kilometers, or 3.47 million square miles. The empire lasted till the 1st century AD when it was defeated by the Han Dynasty of China. Number 9. The Yuan Dynasty. The Yuan Dynasty, established by Mongol nomads, ruled China from 1271 to 1368. It was founded by Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, who completed the conquest of China by defeating the Song dynasty. The Yuan dynasty was notable for its centralized bureaucracy, rationalized taxation system, and the establishment of Beijing, then called Dadu, as the capital. Under the Yuan, China saw significant cultural and economic developments, including the rebuilding of the Grand Canal, improvements in roads and postal stations, and the widespread use of paper money. The dynasty also promoted international trade, leading to increased foreign interactions. However, the Mongols maintained their separateness from the native Chinese population, which contributed to their eventual downfall and replacement by the Ming dynasty. At its peak, the Yuan dynasty covered an area of 11 million square kilometers or 4.25 million square miles. Number 8. The Umayyad Caliphate. The Umayyad Caliphate, established in 661 CE, was the second of the 4 major caliphates in Islamic history. Founded by Muawiyah I, it marked the first great Muslim dynasty, with its capital initially in Damascus. The Umayyads expanded their empire significantly, stretching from Spain in the west to India in the east. At its peak, the Umayyad Caliphate covered approximately 11,100,000 square kilometers, 4,300,000 square miles, making it one of the 10 largest empires in history. This vast territory included diverse cultures and religions, with Christians and Jews allowed to practice their faiths under the condition of paying a tax called jizya. The Umayyad Caliphate is notable for its administrative reforms, including the Arabization of the bureaucracy and the introduction of Arabic as the official language. However, internal strife, financial issues, and discontent among non-Arab Muslims eventually led to its downfall. The Abbasid Caliphate overthrew the Umayyads in 750 CE, although a remnant of the dynasty continued to rule in Spain as the Emirate of Cordoba. Number 7. The Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasid Caliphate, established in 750 CE, was the third of the 4 major caliphates in Islamic history. It overthrew the Umayyad Caliphate and moved the capital to Baghdad, which became a center of learning and culture during the Islamic Golden Age. The Abbasids are known for their advancements in science, mathematics, medicine, and literature. At its peak around 850 CE, the Abbasid Caliphate covered approximately 11,100,000 square kilometers, 4,290,000 square miles, making it one of the largest empires in history. This vast territory included the Arabian Peninsula, Persia, Iraq, Syria, parts of Asia Minor, Egypt, the North African coast excluding Morocco, Crete, and the western half of Sicily. The Abbasid Caliphate faced numerous challenges, including internal strife, financial difficulties, and invasions. The Mongol invasion in 1258 CE marked the end of the Abbasid rule in Baghdad, although a remnant of the dynasty continued to rule in Cairo under the Mamluk Sultanate until 1517 CE. Number 6. The Spanish Empire. The Spanish Empire, one of the most powerful empires in history, began with the Age of Exploration in 1492 and lasted until 1976. It was known as the Empire on which the sun never sets, due to its vast territories across the globe. The empire's expansion was driven by the conquests of the Americas, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. At its peak in the late 1700s and early 1800s, the Spanish Empire covered over 13 million square kilometers, 5 million square miles, making it one of the largest empires in history. The empire's influence extended across Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Asia, with significant territories in the Americas, including present-day Mexico, Central America, and much of South America. The Spanish Empire's legacy includes the spread of the Spanish language and culture, as well as significant contributions to art, science, and literature. However, it also faced challenges such as internal strife, economic difficulties, and resistance from colonized peoples, which eventually led to its decline and the independence movements of the 19th and 20th centuries. Number 5. The Second French Colonial Empire. The Second French Colonial Empire, established in 1830, marked France's renewed efforts to build a global empire after losing most of its first colonial empire. This period began with the conquest of Algeria and expanded to include vast territories in Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific. At its peak in 1936, the Second French Colonial Empire covered approximately 13,500,000 square kilometers, 5,200,000 square miles. This makes it one of the largest empires in history and the second largest European colonial empire after the British Empire. The empire included significant parts of West and North Africa, Madagascar, Indochina, modern-day Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, and various Pacific islands. The French aimed to spread their culture and civilization, often referred to as the mission civilisatrice. However, the empire faced resistance and uprisings in many of its colonies. After World War II, the decolonization movement gained momentum, leading to the independence of most French colonies by the 1960s. The legacy of the Second French Colonial Empire is complex, with lasting impacts on the political, social, and cultural landscapes of the former colonies. Number 4. The Qing Dynasty. The Qing Dynasty, also known as the Manchu Dynasty, was the last imperial dynasty of China, ruling from 1644 to 1912. It was established by the Manchus, who overthrew the Ming Dynasty. The Qing Dynasty is notable for its significant territorial expansion, cultural achievements, and the establishment of a centralized bureaucratic state. At its peak in the 18th century, the Qing Dynasty controlled an area of approximately 14.7 million square kilometers, 5.7 million square miles, making it one of the largest empires in history. This vast territory included present-day China, Mongolia, Tibet, Xinjiang, and parts of Siberia. The Qing Dynasty saw a flourishing of arts and culture, including the development of Peking opera and advancements in literature and painting. However, it also faced numerous challenges, such as internal rebellions, corruption, and external pressures from Western powers. These issues, combined with the impact of the Opium Wars and the Taiping Rebellion, eventually led to the dynasty's decline and the establishment of the Republic of China in 1912. Number 3. The Russian Empire. The Russian Empire, established in 1721 by Peter the Great, was one of the largest empires in history. It spanned from Eastern Europe across Asia and into North America. The empire was characterized by its autocratic rule, with the Tsar holding absolute power, and a diverse population that included numerous ethnicities, languages, and religions. At its peak in the late 19th century, the Russian Empire covered approximately 22.8 million square kilometers or 8.8 million square miles, making it the third largest empire in history, behind only the British and Mongol empires. This vast territory included modern-day Russia, parts of Poland, Finland, the Baltic states, Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, the Caucasus, Central Asia, and Alaska. The empire's expansion was driven by military conquests and colonization efforts, which brought significant cultural and economic changes. However, it also faced numerous challenges, including internal strife, economic difficulties, and resistance from various ethnic groups. The Russian Empire ultimately fell in 1917, following the Russian Revolution, which led to the establishment of the Soviet Union. Number 2. The Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire was the second largest empire in history, stretching across Eurasia. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered an estimated area of 24 million square kilometers or 9.27 million square miles. The empire flourished from 1206 until 1368, playing a pivotal role in world history. The empire began with the unification of Mongol tribes under the leadership of Genghis Khan in the early 13th century. Within about a half-century, the empire controlled a large part of Eastern Europe and most of Central Asia and China. At its height in the mid to late 13th century, the borders of the Mongol Empire stretched from the Sea of Japan to Western Asia Minor, present-day Turkey. After Genghis Khan's passing in 1227, the Mongol Empire was ruled briefly by three other Khagans, Ogedai Khan, Guyuk Khan and Mongke Khan. After the death of the last Khagan Mongke Khan in 1259 AD, the Mongol Empire fractured into four Khanates: the Golden Horde in Eastern Europe, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Ilkhanate in Iran, and the Yuan dynasty in China. Based in modern-day Beijing today, the Mongol Empire is recognized not only for its brutal warfare tactics but also for its success in unifying different cultures and fostering trade throughout its domain. Now, are you ready to find out which empire was the largest ever to have existed? Number 1. The largest empire ever to have existed was the British Empire. The British Empire had a profound impact on the world and its history. One can still see its influence today in many aspects of life, from language to culture to international relations. It was formed over several centuries through colonization, war, and trade, with much of its growth taking place during the 19th century. At its peak, the British Empire covered an estimated 35.5 million square kilometers, or 13.71 million square miles. This was around a quarter of the Earth's total land area, making it by far the largest empire in history, both in terms of population and territory. It was so vast that people used to say, the sun never sets on the British Empire, because the empire consisted of colonies all over the world. However, World War I greatly weakened the British Empire, and after the war, British imperialism began to wane and the United Kingdom was forced to give up most of its colonial possessions. The British Empire's legacy continues to shape modern-day affairs, with Britain being among one of the most influential nations in the world. If you liked this video, please give a thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe.